Hello, welcome back to my 5th video in this series. I am still quite new to this hobby, and I am continuously learning new things as I observe the life within the glass box. This video is not going to be an in-depth care guide, but a short look into my beginner's thoughts and experiences to give some answers to those initial questions I had about the pets I am keeping. In today's video, I look at the Harlequin Rasbora. I've learned that these fish easily get mixed up with SBI or lamb chop Rasbora, as they look quite similar. However, I only have experience with heteromorpha or Harlequin Rasbora at this time. As mentioned in my last video on Amber Tetra, I was originally torn on the decision between the Tetra and these Rasbora. When my order for Amber Tetra was seemingly cancelled, I decided to get some Rasbora to go with them instead. I ended up getting the call for my Tetra after anyway, but this wasn't a problem as I already had a spare tank that was originally cycled for some guppy that were rehomed. Having one setup for just Tetra, and this setup being just Rasbora, I originally aimed for a group of 8 to 10, especially after seeing how much better the Tetra did with the larger group. This took a little while to get all the fish though, as other than finding them in stock, I had a couple issues with fish loss when initially bringing them home. The pet store helped with exchanges however, once more Rasbora were in stock. The last time I went to the store to exchange fish, there was one extra left. I couldn't just leave it there alone, so here I am now with 11. Since the initial fish loss, I've had no issues during the time I have kept these fish. They're quite simple to care for in my opinion, though they are susceptible to common fish diseases. They aren't picky eaters. I generally feed mine crushed flake as a main diet with a variety of frozen and other dried foods when I can get them as well. Mine seem to really like frozen mini bloodworms, and when they were younger, baby brine shrimps were a favorite. They are a small fish, therefore having small mouths and bellies, so it's important to keep overfeeding in mind. Though my tank hasn't grown in very much as I'm still learning about aquarium plants as well, I tried to keep lots of cryptocorn plants since that's what you would likely find in their natural habitat. Having a planted setup for these fish will help them feel more at home, and I tried to choose more broadleafed plants as these fish will flip upside down and stick their eggs under the leaves if they happen to spawn. As of right now, I am not actively looking to breed these fish, but like the others I keep, it's something I would be interested in pursuing further in the future when I have the space. I've read that these fish aren't the easiest to breed though. Even though I have only had these fish a relatively short time, they have shown lots of different mating behaviors already. They kind of wiggle against each other doing a little dance, either two males vying for dominance as seen here, or a male and female will show off for each other. There has never been any nipped fins or wounds from the dances. They usually only do it a couple seconds at a time before going back to the school. Originally, when I brought them home, I had quite a bit of difficulty telling genders apart. Now that they are a bit larger, I find it's gotten easier though. Males generally show more red with dark marks on the fins, and they have a sharper little black pork chop mark. Females tend to be a little larger than males, with their bellies also getting rounder as they grow. The black mark on females also looks more blurred at the edges. When looking at them in pet stores around me, I can never seem to find an example of their max size. Almost all the ones that I saw in pet stores were only about 2 centimeters, or about 3/4 of an inch at most. But mine have grown quite a bit, with my largest ones being 3 to 4 centimeters, or about 1.5 inches. Harlequin Rasbora are a peaceful community fish and work well with lots of other species. In my experiences, they did well with ember tetra, guppies, mollies, autosynclus, and bamboo shrimp. I have not seen any issues with aggression towards neocaridina shrimp either, though with how big they've grown, baby shrimplets make for great snacks if they venture out of hiding. These fish do seem to appreciate large groups, and this will also help them feel more comfortable in showing more schooling behaviors. I really do like the look of these fish, with their metallic reds and oranges and little black pork chops. And I think they have some great personality for a little fish. They're a joy to watch and fairly simple to care for. So even as a beginner, I would say these are great little fish to start out with. Being one of my favorite fish, I might be a little bit biased, but I'd easily recommend them on their own or as an addition to a peaceful community tank.